Hello everyone, I hope you are well and have been doing good for the world. We're going to explore some interesting Hobbit theories. When Smaug leaves for Lake Town, and Thorin reclaims the mountain, Thorin is quickly overcome with dragon sickness.
Thorin, he's been down there for days. He doesn't sleep. He barely eats. He's not been himself. Not at all. It's this place. I think a sickness lies on it.
Sickness? What kind of sickness?
Dragon sickness. I've seen it before. That look. The terrible need. It is a fierce and jealous love, Bilbo. It sent his grandfather mad.
The evil of gold. Gold over which a serpent has long brooded. Dragon sickness seeps into the hearts of all who come near this mountain.
What gold is in that mountain is cursed.
Gold. Gold beyond measure. Beyond sorrow and grief.
Dragon sickness is an obsessive lust and greed for gold. He becomes even more obsessed with finding the heart of the mountain, the Arkenstone.
The Arkenstone is in these halls. Find it.
You heard him. Keep looking.
All of you. No one rests until it is found.
It is believed that the Arkenstone will make Thorin's sickness worse.
Arno, if Thorin had the Arkenstone, or if it was found, would it help?
That stone crowns all. It is the summit of this great wealth, bestowing power upon he who bears it. Will it stay his madness? No, lad. I fear it would make him worse.
However, what if the dwarf's assumption is wrong? Could Thorin, and everyone else, have been better off if he had obtained the Arkenstone? In fact, we are shown that the previous king was not negatively affected by the stone. The king's dragon sickness took effect later on, with the increase in gold being mined.
But the years of peace and plenty were not to last. Slowly the days turned sour, and the watchful nights closed in. Thror's love of gold had grown too fierce. A sickness had begun to grow within him. It was a sickness of the mind.
Thorin refuses to help the people of Lake Town, which viewers assume is because of the dragon sickness.
Why should I honor such terms?
Because you gave us your word. Does that mean nothing?
But perhaps there is more than dragon sickness at play here. Thorin is a king, though nobody treats him that way. He has been on a dangerous journey to reclaim his homeland and kingdom, and when he finally achieves this, there is no parade, no warm welcome, no crowning of the king. There is no acknowledgement of any kind to his achievements in kinghood. He does not feel like a king at all. He feels like normal Thorin.
Do not speak to me as if I was some lowly dwarf lord. As if I were still Thorin. Who can shield?
I am your king!
You were always my king.
You used to know that once.
Thorin doesn't want to help the elves, or the people of Lake Town, because he feels that he has no right to give away the king's treasure, as he doesn't consider himself the king yet. Thorin refers to it as the previous king's treasure, Thror, even though technically it's now Thorin's treasure.
Behold, the great treasure hoard of Thror.
This may be an indication that he doesn't consider the treasure his to distribute until he is properly crowned king. Only when dragon sickness takes great effect does Thorin begin to give in to his desires and prematurely consider it as his treasure.
By my life, I will not part.
not only this, but he feels disrespected by those around him. Even a normal lake town fisherman has a grand title.
Tell me, Bard the Dragon Slayer, why should I honor such terms?
Yet this fisherman did not greet Thorin as a king, he greeted him normally and without title, prompting Thorin to mention his kinghood.
Hail, Thorin, son of Thrain! We are glad to find you alive beyond hope.
Why do you come to the gates of the king under the mountain armed for war?
Everyone expects and demands that Thorin engage in kingly politics, but yet nobody treats him like a king. All Thorin wants is acknowledgement, respect and his birthright, and yet those who could easily give this to him, deny it.
I'm willing to let it stand against my claim.
Against your claim? Your claim? You have no claim over me, you miserable rat!
Thorin's obsessive need for the Arkenstone has nothing to do with dragon sickness, as dragon sickness is from gold. Thorin wants the Arkenstone because it's the king's jewel. He desires it because it will make him feel like the king. It represented their official and divine right to rule.
That stone crowns all.
The king's jewel.
And worth a king's ransom. How is this yours to give?
Without the king's stone, Thorin will not accept his duties as king.
It is the king's jewel.
Am I not the king?
If he had obtained the gem, he would have felt happy being the king, and would have likely helped the elves and the men of Lake Town with treasure. This is because not all treasure is gold. He would still have dragon sickness, but he would have parted with the elven gems and given the people of Lake Town emeralds, rubies, sapphires and diamonds. In fact, those who were respectful and loyal to him, he did share treasure with, even giving away mithril, which at this point, was worth hundreds of times its weight in gold. Thorin was of reasonable mind, especially after Bard at least called him Lord, and was willing to negotiate, probably by giving away gems.
My lord, we have not come to rob you, but to seek fair settlement. Will you not speak with me?
But when Bard threatened and disrespected him, Thorin probably changed his mind about helping them with gems.
I ask that you honor your pledge, a share of the treasure so that they might rebuild their lives.
I will not treat with any man, while an armed host lies before my door.
That armed host will attack this mountain if we do not come to terms.
Your threats do not sway me.
This was Smaug's insight on the situation.
I am almost tempted to let you take it, if only to see Oakenshield suffer. Watch it destroy him. Watch it corrupt his heart and drive him mad.
Smaug's statement can be perceived differently, given the circumstances. Smaug knows all too well the corruption that the treasure has on people, as he himself also has dragon sickness. He would believe that anyone who comes to the treasure hoard is probably corrupt and may also have dragon sickness. So when a thief of Thorin's comes to take the Arkenstone, Smaug's paranoia and understanding of corruption would have him believe that the thief would keep the stone for themselves and not give it back to Thorin. Smaug knows that Thorin really wants the Arkenstone, and that if the stone went missing and Thorin could not find it, that Thorin's pride would consume and corrupt his heart and drive him mad. And that is exactly what happens. Thorin is driven mad looking for the stone, refusing to help anyone until it is retrieved. Smaug was correct in his assumption about the thief. Bilbo could have given Thorin the stone, even before Thorin's dragon sickness, and yet Bilbo refused, keeping it for himself.
You're alive.
Not for much longer!
Did you find the Arkenstone?
The dragon's coming!
The Arkenstone! Did you find it?
No, we have to get up. Thorin. Thorin.
Even when threatened with a sword, Bilbo refuses to hand over the jewel.
You're alive.
Not for much longer!
Did you find the Arkenstone?
The dragon's coming!
The Arkenstone!
I am almost tempted to let you take it.
Did you find it?
If only to see Oakenshield suffer.
Oh, we have to get out.
Watch it destroy.
Thorin.
Watch it corrupt
Thorin.
his heart and drive him mad.
Perhaps Bilbo is a little too good at being a thief.
He stole it. He stole it. Yeah, he stole it.
More or less, Bilbo's purpose on the quest was to obtain the Arkenstone for Thorin.
Arkenstone. And what's that?
That, Master Burglar, is why you are here.
So what are the repercussions of Bilbo refusing to give the Arkenstone to Thorin? In the extended edition, the dwarven army attacked the elves, resulting in many losses on both sides. If Thorin had the stone and was crowned king, he would likely have helped the elves and men, and not gone to war. However, we could exclude this repercussion, as it's not the proper public theatrical release. In the standard public release, there was something very interesting.
We have company. Goblin mercenaries. No more than 100. We'll take care of them. Go! Go! Come on!
Instead of simply having more orc reinforcements attack, the filmmakers very deliberately changed their minds and had mercenaries attack. Mercenaries have their loyalty bought, and who has more money than anyone? Thorin. Thorin could easily have purchased these mercenaries, providing much needed help, if he was given the stone and was king. But instead, with only a few lonely dwarves left and no help. This was the outcome. The blame falls on no particular character. Gandalf takes some blame. He was raised by nice hobbits and he thought that this hobbit was loyal, and not tempted by treasure, and was wrong.
Can I help you?
That remains to be seen.
Bilbo was in the wrong because he got greedy.
He stole it.
The dwarf Balin was making potentially incorrect assumptions about the Arkenstone.
I fear it would make him worse.
Thorin and his pride made him think about royal technicalities rather than helping others.
Am I not the king?
The humans were deliberately ignorant to dwarf custom, as they have a grudge at dwarves for bringing Smaug to their home, now being forced to live on a lake. Bard's ignorance tried to use the Arkenstone as a bartering chip, not knowing that the Arkenstone is Thorin's divine right to rule. This would never work, as Thorin would be forced to go to war and kill Bard to win the stone back. To prove he is worthy of the stone, one can't simply buy the right to rule after it was wrongfully denied by another. Thorin's people would not accept that, and neither would he. The elves knew Bard's idea would not work, as they are familiar with dwarf custom, and yet, they didn't warn Bard. Probably wanting Thorin to know what it feels like losing a precious item, as Thorin has their prized gems.
Payment of your debt has been offered and accepted.
What payment?
If there's a lesson to be taken, we all have weakness, and weakness can lead to negative outcomes. Evil is not simply a physical adversary to be killed, but also thrives within our ignorance. I hope you like this theory video. I am essentially homeless, so if you're someone with financial power, please consider donating to me and my family. People leave this world unexpectedly every second. Please do good while you are given the time you have.